Hey indie game fans! October 2018 featured a good number of great indie games, some of which you might have missed, but as always, before we get into the main list, here are some quick picks worth checking out. Ultra Space Battle Brawl is self-described as Pong mixed with fighting games on steroids, and it certainly lives up to its billing, giving me some serious Windjammer vibes. Helium Rain is a space simulation featuring some very impressive visuals, an economy centered on mining and trade, direct combat, where destroying certain ships will impact the economy as a whole, and so much more. Party Hard 2 is a sequel to 2015's Party Hard, and similarly has you controlling a serial killer that just wants the noise to stop. Featuring even more ways to get rid of noisy partygoers, this stealth action hybrid can provide some cathartic relief. Sacred Earth Promise is an indie JRPG crossed with a visual novel, featuring grid-based dungeon exploration, tactical fast-paced combat, and some pretty nice visuals. TERRORHYTHM can perhaps be best described as one-finger death punch crossed with a rhythm game and is set in a cyberpunk city where the law demands complete silence. Bring back music to the people in this stylish action game. Viviette is a horror game where you explore creepy locations while searching for items to solve puzzles, and was the perfect fit for October. And finally, Joggernauts is both a great pun and a co-op runner platformer where players must switch to the correct color in order to pass obstacles, and looks to be that sort of chaotic local multiplayer fun. Moving on, here are the top 5 indie games you might have missed in October 2018.
One day we returned to the city. It was our happiest moment, right before everything changed.
My Memory of Us is a gorgeous side-scrolling puzzle adventure, which is an allegory to a much darker period in human history. Playing as a pair of children, you must work together to solve puzzles and to escape the cruel, war-torn city brought about by the Robot King, who decreed segregation and persecution of the Red Folk. Amazing narration and a suitably emotional story, definitely do give this one a go.
We listened to news about the wider world, and none of it seemed good. This was how the Robot King had decreed life must be, and the robot soldiers made sure the Red Folk couldn't go through the new wall or ever leave the ghetto. But we still found ways to play and be happy. It was so funny. We were hopeful and brave. We didn't give in. Our minds were set upon carrying out our mission of sabotage, rescue, and escape.
Siralim 3 has been mentioned a couple of times this year on this channel alone, and after a relatively short early access period, it finally hit 1.0 in October. For those not in the know, this is a monster taming game akin to Dragon Warrior Monsters, but adds in a degree of procedural generation and systems which guarantee near infinite content. Already in its third iteration, the developers from Thylacine Studios are extremely responsive to feedback and have constantly been in contact with the community, and are a great example of how to do this well. As of recording, the developers have already released free Halloween content and a free expansion in November, so this is great value for money. Skeletal Dance Party falls in the spooky category of games, which are ones that use traditional horror game elements but adds a dose of cuteness to it. Playing as a fox-eared necromancer who simply wants to throw an awesome party, you have to reanimate the skeletons of your enemies and to lead this ghastly troop to get even more friends and companions. Playing as a Pikmin-style strategy game, this is simply a joy to play.
Raising the dead, necromancy, insolent, downright blasphemous.
My name's Reva, and these are my skeleton friends. We're putting together a party. Wanna come?
A side-scrolling tower offense game, The Legend of Evil, despite its generic name, has a pretty great gameplay loop of building towers which summon demons and are then used to destroy humanity and to conquer the world. Being a huge fan of pixel art as a medium, I have to say that the sprite design in this is absolutely fantastic. The developers are planning to add in PvP as well as an extended mode named Conquest with hundreds of levels, so plenty more to come from this.
3, 2, 1, swing away!
Despite my apparent dislike of golf and me expounding the awesomeness of what the golf, a golf game done right can be a pretty fun experience with titles like Golf Story coming to mind, and Wonder Wickets is one such game. Being set in space, this has fantasy elements with obstacles, special powers, enemies, and so on, and I love the cute, colourful, and wonderful art style which adds a lot to its charm. Multiple playable characters, different types of golf balls, a level editor, and puzzle elements in the courses gives this game a bunch of content, so for its sense of pure joy that it conveys, this takes the #1 spot of the month. For more indie games you might have missed, check out last month's video or watch my recommended playlist, and I will see you after the jump.